This is Teradek's coverage of IBC 2014. I'm Michael Artsis in Amsterdam, and I am really excited about our next guest. We have a world exclusive right here, just announced. Dick Jasper from Nikon, or as I like to say, and the people in the US like to know it as, Nikon.
Yes, Nikon.
You're from Nikon, Netherlands. You brought us the D750. We're just taking the wrappings off of it.
Yeah.
This shoots the same quality video as the D810.
That's correct.
It gives you 1080 at 60 frames. It gives you HDMI out, full HDMI out, uncompressed,
Yes,
right off the sensor.
Yes.
It's going to give you audio in and out with headphone monitoring.
Yes, it is supposed.
It's got a tilt screen, which is a little different. You're going to have to walk me through that. And it does about 24 megapixels, and it's about $2,200 US, about 2,000 euros.
2,000 euros, yeah, approximately in euro.
All right, take me through the D750.
So, actually, the D810 is a good mentioning. If you already know the D810, you will find your way around with the D750 as well, because it's a Nikon. So that means that actually our interface, the way how you handle the camera, it's always consistent, so you won't have problems in actually finding your way through the menus and so on. This is actually also a step forward from the D810, because now, it's a hybrid system. It's not only meant for video, but for the first time, we actually put all video functions within one menu inside the camera. So no more searching around. You have everything in one place, easily accessible, which actually makes a huge difference between this camera and the D810.
No, that's terrific, and I love that you put a screen on it that articulates.
Yeah.
Because I find that to be very challenging. Does it have any of the things like focus peaking or zebras or any of these false color?
We have actually zebra in it. Focus peaking we don't have in this camera, but there is a zebra mode to identify the highlight portions of the images. And even if you have the clean HDMI out, you won't see, of course, the zebra, because you might want to record what's coming out of the HDMI.
What's amazing is, and the way I like to use the Nikon cameras, is coming HDMI out into an Atomos Ninja 2 or Ninja Blade now, and recording at 220 megabits per second. It's just phenomenal. It looks so stunning. I've recorded so much great stuff with it. The other thing I love about Nikon is that the images are so stunning and so sharp. And I use my grandfather's Nikon glass, Nikkor glass, that he used 50 years ago, because it's an F-mount and it all works. So I've got a 50-1.4 that was my grandfather's, and it's super nice. It was on his F2, and I just love the Nikon stuff. The images look so clear and so amazing. Can I see the 750?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Look at this.
So as you know it from the D810 and other cameras, of course it's F-mount, so you can still use your grandfather's glass if you like. So awesome. No question about that. And it fits so nicely and sits in between the D810 and the D4S, if you like.
How many frames per second will it fire
this
in
is,
photo?
In photo it is 6.5 frames at full resolution, full frame. Awesome. So that's slightly faster than the D810 actually offers. But in terms of video spec, the two cameras are much alike. If you need to record internally, so of course you won't have the 220 Mbit, but you go up to 42 Mbit inside the camera.
That's terrific. Yeah. That's really fast, especially inside the camera. That's very nice. Yeah. I think it's great. I already know what to expect. I can already see it through the lens here, and it's phenomenal. I like the articulating screen. Is there a plastic covering for the screen or something to protect the screen when you're storing it?
Actually, that's not necessary, because it's a special hardened glass, which is so, let's say, resistant that you don't need a special plastic covering or whatever.
I see that. This is beautiful. So thank you for the gift. It was very nice of you. And that's a joke I play on Steve Heiner and Mike Corrado.
Yeah, I know him, but I also know these big guys with the broad shoulders. They might come and visit you to get it back.
I'd like to get home from Amsterdam in one piece. And no, I'm saying I play that joke on Mike and Steve all the time. Those are Nikon NPS in America marketing. And Steve's awesome. And Dick, it's been amazing meeting you and talking to you. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the D810. This just builds on the D800. which is literally my favorite DSLR. I think the photos that come out of it are stunning. The 36 megapixels are amazing, and to be able to be on set or on a shoot and fire those off, unbelievable. Then to use those to make time lapses are unreal, and then you get the ability to shoot amazing video. And I've done so much video and live video production out of the D800. So you can, because you can come out of both of these cameras HDMI, you can not only put it into a recorder like an Atomos Ninja or Blade or even a Convergent Design Odyssey 7Q, but you can also go into a live video switcher like the TriCaster that we're using here, or any of the other switchers on the market. And it's really, really amazing because you can create a very shallow depth of field in an environment like this, and I love doing that.
Absolutely true. I mean, you might even know that we actually use Nikon cameras in live broadcast production, where, for example, in London there's a studio called London Live, and they are broadcasting live, and the whole studio is just running on Nikon cameras. So, of course, you need to have the whole backbone broadcast infrastructure behind, but we take the live signals from the cameras, and actually, it goes directly into every household. My
favorite thing ever is I've covered Super Bowls, Yankees World Series, all this stuff with a Nikon D800 and a Teradek Bond. You just put the Teradek Bond right in the hot shoe, and you plug it in HDMI and put in those 4G modems, the LTE modems, and you're broadcasting live to the world off of a beautiful camera with a beautiful sensor and these great lenses. And you get the shallow depth of field, and that's what separates everything, and that's why I like it so much. I just got to tell you, I think you guys have done such a great job. What's the future? Everybody talks about 4K. Everybody's waiting for Nikon to come out with some 4K offering. To me, the only thing I don't understand is why there isn't a 4K offering, as far as I feel like the sensor could handle 4K. Why can't we offload that to a recorder or something?
Well, the technology, of course, will always move forward, and then 4K is now becoming more and more standard in video as such, though the hardware isn't there on all stages, so to say, or all transmitting stages. For us, I mean, the cameras we built are a hybrid system, so we need to look into the best performance we can get out of the system without actually cannibalizing, let's say, part of the photographic performance. Or we need to give best quality as video as well. So it is kind of an in-between situation you always have with a hybrid system. So I think, I mean, without telling anything, there will be times when you surely see a 4K coming from a Nikon.
Well, I mean, I think so, and I think as we're moving into RAW video, it would be amazing to see a 36 megapixel RAW file coming off of that sensor into some kind of recorder. I think would be phenomenal and exciting, and you never know, maybe we'll see it soon. Maybe it'll be a firmware update, because obviously the sensor is, got enough to do 4K. But if not, look, I love the cameras. I'm not knocking them at all. If you ask me what camera I'd want to shoot anything with, it would be Nikon. I'm in love with them. I think that they're just beautiful cameras. I can't explain it, but the images, and I'll tell you, it goes back to a few years ago when the D800 was getting ready to come out. I wanted to see what Nikon looked like, because I had seen a piece somebody else had done, and I said, what was that shot on? I want that camera. And they said a Nikon, and I couldn't believe it, and it was a 5300. And I literally took these old Nikon lenses that my grandfather had, and I brought them to a camera store, and I plugged them onto a 5300, and I shot with it video. And I couldn't believe what I could do with a 5300. And it blew my mind. The bokeh, the beautiful shallow depth of field, and the way it looked better to me than anything I've ever seen. And it certainly looked cinematic. And I thought, wow, this is phenomenal. And I immediately bought two D800s as soon as they came out. And I've been a big fan ever since. I've done so much. I talked on Nikon stage at NAB, and it's just a great camera.
Yeah, you surely wouldn't be disappointed by D810 and the D750, because they do even better than the D800. In so many aspects, they are so much better than the D800. We've been working on that to improve the overall quality and the capabilities of these cameras. And I think we'll have a good way forward, also looking into the future. Yeah.
Dick Jasper from Nikon, thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited about the future, and I'm excited about the D750, a world exclusive. You've seen it here, you've heard about it. It's a phenomenal camera. The D810, amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll be back with a whole lot more from IBC 2014 right after this. Keep it locked to your continuing coverage on Teradek's live coverage of IBC 2014. I'm Michael Artsis. We'll be back.